Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. I am Mega Freak 400, and last time we were sucked into the Dark World. This time we're going to be doing a lot of side questing, because, you know, I kind of like that formula. I know some people might not like that formula, but the whole I like the formula of do something, do some side questing, do something, do some side questing. It kind of works out like that for the most part. There always is something to do after a dungeon. If there's not a ton of stuff to do, I'll probably won't make a whole episode out of it. Like, if there's only a little bit of side questing, I'll probably just, you know, put it with the dungeon, or if there's no side questing. But I do like, if there's a good chunk of it, you know, I know some people don't like watching it, but it's nice to split it up so that people can be like, oh, this is a side questing video. Well, I mean, I guess I should probably be more in the description explain what's going on in the video, but, yeah. So, anyway, we are back in the Light World because I used the Magic Mirror. And you can always go back to the Light World, and that's going to be a key part of getting a lot of the, some of the items, but a lot of the heart pieces as well, is going to revolve around using the mirror in the Dark World to get somewhere in the Light World you couldn't normally reach. That's one of the key gameplay aspects, I guess. And remember that those Keebler elves who were chopping down this tree? Well, it's done. But it actually ended up being a hollow tree, and we can go in it. And we're gonna get some fairies, because we're gonna need that. Because the Dark World, I don't know if you noticed, I think a few times I might have got attacked, but some of the enemies in the Dark World can do 4 hearts of damage to you. Like, insane amounts of damage. You're gonna need, like, all the hearts I've been getting, you're gonna want to have, and, because you're gonna want to have fairies constantly, because, you know, the Dark World really is a dark place. It's got, I mean, the Light World enemies already do damage to you, but they do a lot of damage, and, you know, it's quite easy to die. Now, I've been pretty good at not dying thus far, and that's why I use a fairy occasionally because I don't want to die. I honestly don't think this is going to be a no-death run. I'm just trying to die as least as possible. It really is a difficult game to do, though, or to play, though. Difficult, but not insanely difficult. I mean, you'll die, but then you can come back and be okay. And if you have fairies, you should be pretty decently overall, because you can have up to 4 balls of fairies. And this is the one game out of all the Zeldas, you need fairies. I almost feel like a no fairy run will be pretty difficult. No fairies and no heart containers would be really insanely difficult. Not impossible, but difficult. And yep, these guys are amazed that we haven't changed that our shape has not changed because we got the Moon's Pearl. Here we are going to go up here. Remember that little pedal, or that little statuette I had, or shows you? Not a statuette, memorial, this thing. Well, if we take out our Book of Medora, or whatever you pronounce it, hold up the Master Sword and you'll get the Magic of Ether. Well, we now have the Master Sword, so we can get the Magic of Ether. Great Ether. The Ether Medallion, its magic controls the upper atmosphere and the winds. So yeah, if you use this medallion, you can do some great damage to the enemies around you. I don't find myself using the medallion all that much, and it uses up magic as well, but, you know, it's useful to have, and also because I want to get all the items, I'm going to get it no matter what, whether or not I use it. There are actually 3 medallions. If you saw before, there's actually a pedestal of another pedestal in the desert, that we couldn't reach, and we will be able to reach it, but not now, later. There is also another one up north here, but it's not in a pedestal. It's in a different. It's a different kind of. You get it a different way than using the book, and it's kind of interesting in that aspect. So yeah, the Dark World is really just. It's really interesting how. I mean, you know, nowadays, oh, Dark World, Light World, it's a concept that's been done over and over again, and it's, you know, been done to death. But at the time this game was made, you know, it wasn't, I'm not necessarily saying it was a new concept, but it wasn't necessarily overdone, I think, and I think they did it pretty well. It's nice to see the comparison between, you know, the Dark World and the Light World. You could say, well, because it kind of gives you an aspect. You see the Light World, the Dark World is basically a mere version of the Light World, but, you know, aspects of it change, and it's kind of saddening. I mean, there's not a ton of characterization, but there's one character in particular I'm thinking of. It's really sad that almost a majority of the people here, maybe even the monsters for that matter, were actually, you know, people who ended up wandering to the Dark World to look for the golden power. And here at the Lake of Omen 3, I love that name, there's this fish. If we throw something in his pond, he will be like, "Was it you who disturbed my peaceful nap? I will give you this if you go away." I don't know, I think if you throw something else, he might attack you. But either way, the Quake Medallion, it's another medallion, and it shakes the earth. But yeah, everyone, I don't necessarily know the monsters, but I definitely know a lot of people who ended up here and changed their shape. They were greedy, you know, but it's kind of saddening that the fact that, you know, so many people were after this golden power. This, you know, the whole concept of the Triforce, the fact that, you know, people were... The goddesses made the world, they left it, and they left golden power. Why would they leave the golden power? They were probably just doing it to... It's almost kind of like, we made the world, we created you. Oh, and by the way, we're going to leave this thing here just to cause chaos. We're going to leave this thing to cause greed and cause problems in the world. And that's what it did, because people started searching for this Triforce, this power. And it kind of caused... It caused... I mean, again, there's not a ton of story in this game, but there's stuff you can infer, and like the fact that it says that people were searching after this gold power, you know, is it, you know, is it wrong to, you know, be greedy and search for it? Yeah, you could say that, you know, people should have not been greedy, but at the same time, you know, the goddesses, the fact that they even left it here, it's like, why would you do that? You're just asking for for trouble to ensue, and it did. And it resulted in this kind of world that this world was created by you know, the first person who touched the Triforce. It originally was a sacred realm, but which also brings the question: if it's a sacred realm, then why is it exactly a mirror of, you know, Hyrule? Well, the creator of the world of the person who touched the Triforce wanted Hyrule. That's my aspect, is that he wanted Hyrule. That's what he wanted. He wanted control of Hyrule, so he wished for a darker version of it, a version in his image of sorts. And let's use the mirror to... Holy crap. That is the most unluckiest thing ever. So anyway, back over here. Let's use the mirror again to get the heart piece that I didn't end up getting that first time. It really sucked. But yeah, when you think about it in that aspect, I mean, the game in itself, this game is just, it has good gameplay, but when you think about it in terms of, you know, story and logic, it's actually very saddening. It's actually very, I feel it does, I know I've talked about Ocarina of Time for thousands of decades, but I almost feel it does a better job at making you care about the world than Ocarina of Time does. Ocarina of Time had really great environments, but it didn't make me care as much as this game did. Now, maybe it's just because I'm biased, and I probably am. And again, I've said before, and I'll say it again, Ocarina of Time is a great game. I really like it. There's a lot of things that it does right. I don't think it made me care about the world, though. And I think this game, even though it's on an SNES and it doesn't probably have as much dialogue as Ocarina of Time, it kind of does a better job. It's very subtle. It doesn't, like, it's not in your face and like, care for this world, you must care for it. But it makes me care. It makes me care through its very subtle nature. But yeah, the Dark World is really, I know it's a thing that's been done before, but it's just a fun, you know, a fun environment. It's fun to compare the different areas in the Light World to the Dark World. And the music, obviously, is fantastic. It's one of the best songs in the Zelda franchise. It's interesting. You go from this very triumph of I am Link, you know, the traditional Zelda song, awesome, you know, epic song, and then you get here and, oh, hi, parrot. Hey, I'll tell you, sure, we'll listen to a story. Pay rupees. They say there is a tiny circle of rocks in the lake source of the river. I don't know what happened. We already did that. That was a useless story. You suck. But yeah, this, you go from this triumphant, epic, you know, heroic song from, you know, the regular Hyrule, and you go into the Dark World, and you get this very solemn. It's a very solemn song. You could say it's also triumphant in a way too. It kind of has a bit of triumph, but it's very, you know, a saddening song. It's basically kind of like, look around. This is what has happened because of greed. greed has caused this world. You know, that's the kind of the feeling I get from the environment and the music working together, and that's what makes me care. You know, sometimes that's the best way to tell a story, not necessarily rely on dialogue or blunt, you know, hey, this is what happened. Just subtleness like this, using the environment, the graphical, you know, you talk about graphics, the design for the environment, the design for the world, and the music together to tell a story. The power of gold. Well, you're too late. It will only obey the first person who touches it. The man who thus came the power of gold wished for this world. It reflects his heart. Yeah, as I was talking about. Is I came here because of the greed for golden power. To restore the golden land, a person worthy of the golden power must defeat the man who created this place. Until that time, I am stuck in this bizarre shape. What a mysterious thing to leave. Again, my thing about the gods is being very, you know, dumb about it. It was almost like hey, we're gonna leave the Triforce and it's gonna make everyone, you know, cause so much trouble. And that guy looked like a bonsai. He kind of almost looked like a chia pet. Remember the chia pets that were the most useless thing on Earth? You water it and it grows. That was a dumb thing. Like if you were to buy like a kid that as like a gift, because it was kind of almost marketed as a toy to an extent. Chia pets were just really dumb. But yeah, that's something I almost feel games nowadays aren't doing as much as I feel they should. I guess that's my thing. Telling a story through the visuals and music. And through dialogue too, but hello, monkey. I am Kiki the monkey. I love rupees. Can you spare me? Sure, we have plenty of rupees. Good choice. Now, when I was a kid, I loved Kiki. He only appeared for like 1 second, but I loved him. He was my favorite character in the entire game. I loved him. I guess because I really liked monkeys when I was young. Monkeys are always they're always an animal I think people in general like. I don't know, because they kind of reflect us as humans, but open the entrance. Sure, I don't think we can do it ourselves, so we'll ask you to open the entrance for us. And Kiki will go on top and open the roof. And this has been Maker 400. I am reminding you that Kiki is awesome.